Subscribe, because the streets are talking, the feds are watching, and what just happened to Jim Jones is bigger than anyone expected. This arrest didn't just shake Dipset, it cracked the surface of a story that's been boiling beneath the rap game for years. Jim Jones, the Harlem legend, the Dipset general, the street-savvy businessman who once bragged about being untouchable, now finds himself at the center of a federal firestorm, one that's pulling in not just him but the people closest to him. Cam'ron, his longtime brother-in-arms, and Chrissy Lampkin, the woman who stood by his side through every storm, every scandal, every rise, and every fall. But this time it's different. This time the stakes are life-changing. Let's rewind for a second because it all started with a car chase in Coweta County, Georgia. A wild police pursuit that ended with Jim Jones in the backseat. Drugs in the car, guns in the trunk, and 4 people behind bars. Now at first glance it might have looked like a standard rapper gone wild situation. But once the feds stepped in and announced racketeering and money laundering charges, the internet exploded. This ain't some state-level slap on the wrist. This is the kind of thing the FBI builds for months, sometimes years. Wiretaps, surveillance, financial audits, confidential informants, everything pointing at the possibility that Jim wasn't just in the wrong place at the wrong time, but at the center of something bigger, something organized, something criminal. Now, if you've been paying attention, you'd know this isn't Jim's first brush with serious allegations. Back in 2019, during the infamous Tekashi 6ix99 trial, Jim's name came up in connection with the 9 Trey Gangsta Bloods. Tekashi didn't mince words. He called Jim out on the stand, labeled him part of the organization, and the court transcript went viral. Jim stayed silent, never confirmed, never denied, just let the streets and blogs speculate. But after this latest arrest, that silence is now deafening, because it looks like the feds never forgot. And now, with new allegations including money laundering, people are asking, was all that flashy business success just a cover? Jim has long been praised for his entrepreneurship. He flipped real estate, pushed merch, dabbled in cryptocurrency, even talked about building generational wealth. But if the feds are claiming some of that was dirty money being cleaned through legit businesses, then the empire might be built on a lie. That's where things get dark. Because money laundering isn't just about shady deposits, it's about intent, about hiding origins, about making illegal funds look clean. And if Jim's caught up in that web, then every LLC, every crypto wallet, every real estate flip he's ever done might be part of the evidence. And let's not forget who else could be implicated. You don't run an operation like that alone. Which brings us to the 2 names lighting up every blog comment section right now, Cam'ron and Chrissy. Let's start with Cam. Dipset wouldn't be Dipset without Cam'ron. He's the brain, the charisma, the one who brought Harlem flavor to the world. Cam and Jim have had their ups and downs, beefs, fallouts, reconciliations, but one thing's always been true. When it comes to street credibility, Cam's name holds weight. Now, Cam hasn't said much since the arrest, but fans are watching closely. Because if Jim was moving money, was Cam involved? Did they share ventures, split investments? Or did Cam keep his hands clean while Jim handled the dirt? Right now, we don't know. But in federal investigations, guilt by association is real. And if Jim's business is intertwined with Cam's, you better believe the feds are checking every receipt, every phone call, every DM. The internet's already digging, looking at old interviews, analyzing lyrics, trying to find connections that might explain what's going on. Now let's talk about Chrissy. Because Chrissy Lampkin is no ordinary celebrity girlfriend. She's been in the trenches with Jim since the early 2000s. From reality shows to public proposals, to rumors of cheating, and even breakups, they've been through it all. But through it all, Chrissy stood by Jim like a ride or die. And when this arrest broke, she went silent. No tweets, no stories, no shade, just pure quiet. And that silence, it spoke volumes. Then came the post. Stand by the ones you love through the storm. Just vague enough to be interpreted 10 different ways. Was she confirming her loyalty? Was she hinting that Jim was set up? Or was she trying to calm the chaos behind the scenes? Some say she's in full PR mode, trying to spin the narrative. Others think she's just trying to process what's happening to the man she's built her life around. But one thing's for sure, Chrissy's in this, whether she likes it or not. Because if Jim's finances are under scrutiny, and she's tied to any of his businesses or accounts, she might get pulled into the storm too. The pressure on her must be immense, watching your partner get dragged into a federal case, knowing the world is waiting to see if you'll fold or fight. And just when people thought it couldn't get messier, the mugshot dropped, and the internet went nuts. Jim Jones in full orange, smirking like he's got nothing to lose. Not angry, not ashamed, just calm. Too calm. Theories started flying. Did he know this was coming? Was he prepped by his lawyers? Was the smirk a flex or a front? It reminded fans of Gucci Mane's classic mugshot, or 21 Savage's ice-cold face during his ICE detainment. Rappers have learned to control their image, even when the cuffs are on. But what's behind that calm is what really matters. Because if the feds have what they claim to have, financial trails, audio recordings, maybe even someone from Jim's own camp flipping, then this won't be easy to beat. Let's break down the possibilities. Option 1, Jim takes a plea deal. He cuts a deal, gets a lighter sentence, and avoids trial. That's what a lot of celebrities do. Take the fall, serve a couple of years, and come back to tell their story. But the feds don't always offer sweet deals, especially in RICO cases. Option 2, he fights it in court. Goes full trial, defends his name, risks a heavier sentence if he loses. That's bold, risky, and expensive. Option 3, this whole thing is just the beginning. That Jim isn't the only target. That there's a bigger investigation happening, and he's just one name on a long list. If that's true, then more names are coming. More arrests, more mugshots, more industry secrets spilling out. Because when the feds come, they come with everything. They don't build cases on rumors. They build them on phone taps, emails, financial data, informants. If Jim was being watched for a year, who else was being monitored? Who else is about to be exposed? Who in Dipset is next? And what about Cam? Will he stay silent or speak out? Will he stand by Jim or protect his own brand? And Chrissy, will she keep riding or finally say enough is enough? This arrest isn't just a legal story. It's a cultural moment, a turning point. Jim Jones is more than a rapper. He's a symbol of hustle, survival, and Harlem pride. But even the strongest empires fall if the foundation is shaky. Right now, fans are divided. Some think he was framed. Some think he got too cocky. Others say it's karma. But no one knows the full truth yet. And that's what makes this so gripping. This is the kind of story that will play out in courtrooms, in headlines, in whispered conversations in barbershops and industry parties. The outcome will shape not just Jim's future, but Dipset's legacy, Chrissy's next move, and how the world views success in the rap game. Because if someone like Jim Jones can fall, anyone can. So as the case unfolds, keep your eyes open, because what happens next could be explosive. Testimonies, leaks, cross-examinations. This isn't over, not by a long shot. So let me ask, do you think Jim's guilty? Was Cam involved? And will Chrissy stand tall or walk away? Hit the comments, drop your theory, and don't forget to subscribe. Because this story is only getting started and you don't want to miss what comes next.